Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We're in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22, verses 34 through 46. Now, the Sadducees and the Herodians have swung and missed in trying to catch Jesus. And the Pharisees haven't done very well either. And now they put their designated hitter, their best expert in the law, to try to test Jesus, to try to catch him in a gotcha question. And he asks him, which is the greatest commandment in the law? And Jesus replies, you are to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, with all your strength, right? And he's quoting Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. He says, this is the first and greatest commandment, that God is to be first in your life. And it begs the question is, do we love the Lord our God with every sliver of our life? Is our heart, our mind, our spirit completely devoted to the Lord? And if we live under the law, we have to be complete in that. And then he says this, the next commandment is like it. And he quotes Leviticus 19, verse 18, that you are to love your neighbor like yourself. And this is a summation. The first one is a summation of the first three commandments. This one is the summation of the next seven, the second table of the commandments, right? About how you treat your neighbor. And the expert says, well, you're absolutely right. You have answered correctly. And the thing is that the experts in the law, they're right, that you have to live by the law. If you're going to live by the law, you have to be perfect. And the law cannot give life. All the law can do is to accuse us of falling short and condemn us for falling short of the glory of God. But then Jesus flips this around, as he always does, and this is a question about salvation, about the promise of God, right? And he asks, what do you think about the Messiah? Whose son do you think he is? And, do you think he's just going to be another king? Do you think he's just going to be a political solution? And then he quotes Psalm 110, a psalm of David, in which David is saying, the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I put your enemies under your feet. And Jesus proclaims that David is speaking by the inspiration of the Holy Spirit when he says this, and therefore he's uttering prophecy. And he's speaking about the Messiah being before him. And he says that. How can he be before David if he's, and come after David? How can he call him his son? And no one can respond. And this passage is critical because Peter is going to cite this passage based on the teaching that Jesus has given him in his first sermon in Acts chapter 2. And then Jesus himself will speak about this at the end of time in Revelation chapter 22 about how he is the source of David, but he's the root of David, but he's the offspring of David. He is the promised Messiah. And he makes clear that it's through the Messiah that we're going to have the promise of the law fulfilled for us. And just as the Messiah, the anointed one, is Lord over David and Lord over Israel, that Messiah is Lord of Lords. He's before all. And the Pharisees can't answer him because this is really beyond what they taught. And they're fumbling to understand. Thank God we have the Holy Spirit that teaches us the very words that Jesus is teaching, so we see that he is the fulfillment of the Davidic promise. Well, hey, thanks, friends. If you like the content of the Daily Plunge, like it, subscribe, share, so that we continue doing what we are doing by the grace of God's Spirit. Thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.